What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and the FBI has issued a absolutely bizarre statement given the public documents that we've all seen. Now, I know people are getting a little tired of Twitter files, but I still think they're important to cover. I'm trying to mix in a better variety of topics here as we ring in the new year. If you're still enjoying the coverage, please do leave a like on this video, and if you haven't yet, there's a subscribe button down below, almost wherever you're watching it. I would greatly appreciate if you would join the Quartering crew by subscribing. Controversial FBI agent Elvis Chan denies claims that he warned Twitter security chief about the president's son's computer leak as investigation reveals the extent of FBI tentacles in Silicon Valley. How could you possibly deny it? How could you deny it? Like, seriously, how could you possibly deny it? We've read the emails, bro. Controversial FBI agent Elvis Chan denied that he had warned Twitter's then chief about supposed operation. So essentially, Elvis Chan and Yoel Roth were like bosom buddies. Yoel Roth had claimed in his sworn declaration that Federal Election Committee in December 2020 that he felt compelled to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story and label it as coming from hacked materials based on information FBI agents had given him at weekly meetings. Of course, we don't have any transcripts of that, but I mean, based on everything else we've seen, does anybody really not believe that? Of course, now Elvis Chan, a supervisory special agent for the Bureau, insisted in a deposition in November that none of the agents specifically mentioned the laptop as one of the possible leak operations. I'm sure they didn't specifically mention it, but I'm sure they implied it was. I'm fairly certain they implied it was. Those FBI agents would then meet with big tech officials to remove, quote, disfavored speakers' viewpoints and content on social media platforms under the guise of combating misinformation, the Republican Attorney Generals of Louisiana and Missouri claim. In his declaration, Roth claimed, "I was told that the intelligence community expected that individuals associated with political campaigns would be subject to hacking attacks, and that material obtained through those would be disseminated over social media platforms." Well, I mean, we've seen the emails, right? We saw the emails from Jim Baker. We saw the emails from Yoel Roth. We know that he's lying. They were both in on it. The FBI and Yoel Roth. Yoel Roth had a little chub with all the power he had working directly with the FBI. I bet he went to the soy bar, told all his soy friends about how he was an international spy. Also, I learned in these meetings that there were rumors that the hack and leak operation would involve the president's son, he added, as Twitter tried to defend itself against a complaint by Tea Party Patriots Foundation that its censorship was an in-kind contribution to then candidate Joe Biden, which I now, of course, believe to be absolutely the truth. Chen then explained that, under questioning by Solicitor General John Sauer late last month, Chan said he would interpret what Roth said in his sworn testimony differently. He insisted he had never discussed the laptop as being subject to a hack and leak operation at weekly meetings with content moderation officials like Facebook, Google, Twitter, Yahoo, Reddit, and even LinkedIn. Except this is not what both Mark Zuckerberg and Yoel Roth said. In my estimation, this is like I remember things differently. In my estimation, we never discussed Hunter Biden specifically with Twitter, he said. I always try to skip saying his name, dang it. And so in the way I read, that there are hack and leak operations. And then at the time, I believed he flagged one as the potential current events were happening ahead of things. No, wrong. Chan then explained that because he does not actually remember discussing it, he's literally going with the, I don't recall that. He's going with the I don't recall that defense. So this would have been something he would have just thought of as a hot button issue on his own. Chan also revealed in his testimony that the FBI now plans to hold more meetings with big tech officials ahead of the 2024 presidential election. At this time will include representatives from Apple and the Wikimedia Foundation. They were all added because they are a cloud infrastructure company, he said, of adding Apple to the discussions. And we believe that tactical information, specifically indicators that we shared with them, relate to foreign state-sponsored actors, except we saw in the leaks number 8 that there really were no requests of the FBI over foreign information. It was all two-follower Andys who were making election jokes. Again, in his testimony last month, Chan said he had met with the pair to discuss a Yahoo leak that the Carter page was being investigated. The page left the Trump campaign in the aftermath, while 2 campaign spokespersons denied that he had ever been a part of it. Again, remember that Jim Baker, the general counsel for Twitter, or big-time lawyer at Twitter, was also the former general counsel for the FBI, who was released under suspicion of leaking information to the press. Of course, Baker is now under fire for meeting secretly with some of his former colleagues at the Bureau before coercing Roth to label the laptop story as disinformation. He later sent a letter thanking the FBI for its help in suppressing the story. Chan's testimony tells a very different story from Roth's claim back in 2020 and from Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg's conversation with podcaster Joe Rogan years later. He said in August that Facebook officials attended that very same meeting and also figured the agents were insinuating the president's son's story was the result of one of these. Of course they were, bro. Like, of course they were. This is like one case where I 100% believe Mark Zuckerberg. Like that. I 100% believe that. I 100% believe that they knew that it was coming out and that they planted enough tactical seeds to make sure that it got blocked. And then they had their inside man, Jim Baker, do the rest. The idea that they're like, in statements afterwards, the FBI said the agency routinely notifies social media companies about potential security threats. The press release read, the FBI has provided companies with foreign threat indicators to help them protect their platforms and customers from abuse from foreign malign influence actors. You mean like how you and the CIA and the Department of Defense did the very same thing using Arab-speaking languages that was outed by, I think, the news media a few years ago and then confirmed via Twitter leaks? On Monday, it's just like I said, oh man, I'm all over this topic. But on Monday, a trove of documents from Schellenberg revealed that the FBI met with Jim Baker ahead of the 2020 presidential election, where he convinced Roth that the materials from the laptop could be Russian disinformation. The trove of documents Schellenberger released detailed how several former FBI officials were joining the ranks at Twitter, and that those left at the Bureau had tried to get top-level security clearance for Twitter officials so they could be notified of any potential election stuff. This saying here now, like people who are blackpilled on this, we want to see heads rolled. Attorney General Garland, FBI's Ray Face, likely, FBI's Ray Face, is that how I say it? Likely Twitter files subpoena. Republican lawmakers are poised to slap top justice officials with subpoenas to see heads roll over Elon Musk's Twitter files. Revelations about the FBI efforts were to suppress free speech on social media. With a new Republican majority next year, it's not enough just to hold hearings. We need to hold people accountable, Representative Nancy Mace tweeted Tuesday. Mace's statement marked a doubling down on her earlier vow that there will be subpoenas flying after GOP regains control of the House. It's sad that should be happening now. I really want to know what government agents and agencies were censoring the free speech of Americans, Mace said. A member of the House Oversight Committee said on Fox News Sunday Night in America with Trey Gowdy. I want to see heads roll. I want to see people fired for what they've done. I want to see them go to prison. On Monday, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who's seeking to become Speaker next year, repeated the recent pledge that subpoenas would be issued against the 51 former U.S. intelligence officials who signed a controversial open letter that said the Post's scoop about the laptop had classic earmarks of Russian information operation, even though they knew the year before that it was real. McCarthy declined to answer when directly when host Maria Bartiromo asked if U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland and FBI Director Christopher Wray should be also hit with subpoenas, but he predicted they would. Well, you're going to have to get to the very top because you've got to understand what they knew, he said. Why did they allow this to go on? Of course it came down from the very top. Of course it came down from the very top. You see all this here. All from the very top down. And absolutely heads will roll, and should. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. You click that subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.